As a child, I had many fears. I was afraid of lightning, insects, loud noises, and custom characters. I also had two very severe phobias of doctors and injections. During my struggles to escape from our family doctors, I would become so physically combative that he actually slapped me in the face to stun me. I was 6. I was on fight or flight back then, and holding me down for a simple vaccine took 3 or 4 adults, including my parents. Later, our family moved to New York to Florida just as I was starting in high school. And being the new kid at the parochial school, not knowing anyone, and being worried about fitting in, on the very first day of school, a teacher takes roll and calls out any Maria battle, to which I respond in a sentence island accent. Here, Sloven says, "Oh, Precious, stand up. Say DOG." And I respond in a Stalin Aslan accent, "Doc." The class broke out in laughter along with the teacher. And is when so it went because she had many more words to humiliate with me with. I went home sobbing, distraught, and begging to be sent back to New York or some nunnery. I did not want to go back to that school again, no way. My parents listened and told me that they would investigate with their monitor back in New York. But that had to keep going in each day, so their attendance record to transfer to the ninth grade on Staten Island. All of this was before email and cell phones, so over the next several weeks, supposedly there were letters being sent between the archdiocese of Manhattan and Miami, and with the Vatican. Then each day I'd go into school crying and come up home crying, to which my mother would give me an update from the cardinal or bishop to keep her going to school while we fight a spot. Was I Navy or what? Well, after a couple of weeks, one day while waiting for the school bus, I met a girl named Debbie, and she introduced me to her friends, and they become my friends, and well, the pop was off at the hook. I began to calm down and settle in. My past 3 decades of studying anxiety with children stem partly from my own search for self-understanding, and I've learned much. For young people, anxiety is the most common childhood psychiatric condition. These disorders start early by age 4, and by adolescence, 1 in 12 young youths are severely impaired in their ability to function at home, in school, or with peers. These kids are so frightened, worried, literally physically uncomfortable due to their anxiety. It's difficult for them to pay attention in school, relax and have fun, make friends, and do all the things that kids should be doing. Anxiety can create misery for child, and the parents are front and center in witnessing their child distress. As I met more and more children with anxiety through my work, I had to go back to mom and dad and ask them a couple of questions. Why did you hold me down when I was so frightened of getting injections and force them on me? And why tell me these tall tales to make me go to school when I was so worried about being embarrassed again? They said, "Our hearts broke for you each time, but we knew that these were things that you had to do. We had to risk you becoming upset while we waited for you to get used to the situation. With time and with more experience, you had to get vaccinated. You had to go to school." Little did my parents know that they were doing more than inoculating me from the measles. They were also inoculating me from a lifetime of anxiety disorders. Excessive anxieties in a young child is like a superbug, and infectious, even multiplying, such that many of the joy that I see come in with more than one anxiety condition occurring at the same time. For example, they have specific phobia plus separation anxieties plus social anxieties all together. Left untreated, anxieties in early childhood can lead to depression by adolescence. It can also contribute to substance abuse and to suicidality. My parents were not therapists. They didn't know any psychologists. All they knew is that these situations may have been uncomfortable for me, but they were not harmful. My excessive anxieties would harm me more over the long term if they let me avoid and escape these situations and not learn how to tolerate occasional distress. So, in essence, mom and dad were doing their own homegrown version of exposure therapy, which is the central and key components of cognitive behavioral treatment for anxiety. My college.